Evening, everyone. Much anticipated live session for tonight, as promised. Here we are. Tonight, I'm going to be talking to you about a notice of motion which Action for Freedom has issued at court against the Minister of Health. Without further ado, I'll let you know straight away what it is all about. On the back of the Minister of Health having issued a government notice number 46048, and I'll get there straight away for you. So I will open that up for you, so you know exactly what I'm talking from. So you go to the government website under their notices and you type in 46048, search that, so we can talk from the primary document so you can see exactly what the notice says right there. And I'll just increase that to 175% so you can see this is the government notice issued by the Minister of Health. And that notice categorically states to you that the Minister of Health intends, in terms of section 91J, K, and W, and this is the part we need to pay close attention to. He says is to be read with section 94C of the National Health Act. And after consultation, he intends to make these regulations into law. And then the minister invites everybody, says interested persons are invited to submit within 30 days from the date of publication of this notice, substantiated comments or representations on the proposed regulations. Note here, section 94C of the National Health Act, and is giving the public 30 days. Let's go to the National Health Act. Right there, National Health Act. Again, this is on the South African government website. So primary sources, so you know exactly where it is that we're talking from. Let's go to page 46. And we make that again, make that nice and big enough for you. 175%. Here we are. So section 90, subsection 4, there, C. Let's read what that says. It says that the minister may, if circumstances necessitate, the immediate publication of a regulation, publish that regulation without consultation contemplated in A. Read that again. Without consultation contemplated in A. What is A? 4A, right there. Let's read what that says quickly. The minister must publish all regulations proposed to be made under this act in the Gazette for comment at least 3 months before the date contemplated for their commencement. Right. Let's go back and see what the minister's notice says. Read that with 94C. 94C tells you that he should only publish regulations without consultation. But if he contemplates consultation, he must look at paragraph A. Paragraph A tells him that he should publish it in the Gazette, which is what he has done, for comment. Now, for comment, it should be at least 3 months before the date contemplated. Right. Now, you have now seen for yourself. Seen for yourself, that is the government's notice. He says, read it with 94C. And 94C tells you nothing about consultation. He shouldn't need to consult the public, but if he does want to consult the public, he has to issue that notice under 94A. And if he wants to consult the public, he must give you at least 3 months. So none of that is made up. You've now seen that for a fact. So Action for Freedom, what we've done is we decided to write to the Minister of Health, and we sent a letter of which you would have seen on our website, actionforfreedom.com. The letter is published there. And the intention of our letter was to bring to the minister's attention that the minister may have inadvertently issued his notice in error. So we sought to give the minister the opportunity for the minister to correct the record and reissue the notice correctly. One, if the minister perhaps intended not to consult the public, then yes, for the minister to go ahead and issue that notice to be read with section 94C, because then he doesn't need any consultation and just go ahead and publish his regulations. But if the minister wanted consultation, then he need to issue it under A and give the public at least 3 months. That is the intention of the letter that we wrote to the minister. We also sent the minister an email, and the letters that we sent to the minister, we delivered it via postnet as a recorded delivery to ensure that the minister got the letter. So we waited for response, email and in writing. Sadly, the minister had not replied to our letter, and neither had we received an acknowledgement that the minister had received our letter. Now, given the urgency of time and the urgency of the matter at hand, particularly given the profoundness of the regulations that the minister contemplates, we thought we're going to approach the court so that the court can compel the minister to take heed to the issues that we bring to his attention. Now, let's just get the following clear. We're not taking action against the minister on account of the regulations that the minister is contemplating, because the regulations are being contemplated. They are not law yet. So you can't challenge the minister on the regulations. What we are challenging the minister about is the process that the minister is following in order to have these regulations promulgated into law. That process, we believe, is contrary to the law. It is issued incorrectly, and it is a flawed process. So you've seen the photo above on the page where we are giving notice to the minister, and I will now show you the complete notice, so for you to see what the notice actually says in full, so for you to understand what it is that we are asking the court to do. I will take you there now. I will open up the screen for you and take you to the full document. Here we are. So you should be able to see that on your screen right now. That is the picture that you would have seen on our page. This is the notice of motion, and that is the case number 8515/2022, and our attorney has gone to have this lodged at the High Court in Cape Town. So notice states as follows. Please take notice that the above mentioned applicant, which is Action for Freedom, there as you can see, non-profit company, versus the Minister of Health. And so please take notice that the above mentioned applicant intends to make application to this honorable court on the 14th of April 2022 at 10 o'clock, or as soon as after the matter can be heard, for the following orders. What are we seeking? We seek that the court declaring the application to be a matter of urgency and dispensing insofar as is necessary in terms of Rule 6, Subrule 12, that the usual forms and service provided in the uniform rules of the court. That is usually, if you want to process matters in court, you've got to follow the rules. So we want the court to declare the conduct of the respondent, meaning the Minister of Health, to the extent that he has failed to align his consultation process insofar as government notice number 46048 for public consultation in terms of section 94A, which is the correct section in the law, as you have seen, of the Health Act. We want him to declare his Government Gazette number 46048, that consultation process, to be ultra-virus and invalid. When we say ultra-virus, meaning the minister does not have powers under section 94C to consult, and where the minister does have powers under 94A, the powers is that he should give the public at least 3 months, not 30 days. He does not have that power. And we also want the court to declare that the consultation process thus followed by the respondent, the minister, in terms of section 94C, as I've just stated, of the Health Act, is ultra-virus and invalid. There is no such power. And we want the court to compel the minister immediately to withdraw the government notice, Gazette number 46048, for public consultation, which he instituted in terms of section 94C of the National Health Act. And alternatively, we ask the court to compel the minister to immediately withdraw the government notice for public consultation, which he instituted in terms of section 94C of the Health Act, and to revise the provisions for consultation in alignment with section 94A of the Act, because 94A allows for consultation and that he should give the public their due rights. So the public has right under section 90 subsection 4A, they have right to at least 3 months of consultation, not 30 days. I've shown you the act, you've seen it for yourself, and that is what we are asking the court to compel the minister to do. And I reiterate, we're not taking action about the regulations themselves, because the regulations are not law yet. So you can't challenge the minister on those, because those regulations he contemplates, he's still consulting the public. We are concerned about the consultation process. So why is the consultation process so important? What are the risks inherent in the consultation process? Let's have a look at what are your rights in terms of that consultation process. In the Constitution, the South African Constitution, which I'll take you right there, as you can see the public, and you go to chapter 4, and let's go to section 59 that deals with public access, and you just open that up for yourself, and it tells you there, constitutionally, you have the right. The National Assembly must make sure and facilitate public involvement in the legislative and other processes of the Assembly and its committees. Right. That means you have a constitutional right to participate in legislative processes, in the process to make legislation that makes laws. You have now seen that the minister is actually doing that. He's inviting you to participate, to give comment. He consults you about regulations he seeks to make law. But where he does consult you, he must do so properly. He must do so lawfully. According to the regulations, according to the law in the Health Act, section 94A, if the minister wants to consult you about regulations that he contemplates, It should give you at least 3 months. The minister is offering you 30 days. And for that matter, we're taking the minister to court, but the minister still has the opportunity, obviously, to still correct the record without the need for us to go to court. So what the minister can do is simply acknowledge our letter, read it, and come to terms with the fact that in our view, as we can see, and as you've just seen for yourself, they have issued, he has issued his notice incorrectly, and that by giving you 30 days is not lawful. So what are the risks to you with the public? If you are not given the full at least 3 months period for consultation, you might be losing out on time for you to consult adequately with other people whom you may want to consult with about your comments that you want to put in for the minister to consider. Also, you may want to speak to your member of parliament so that you can give your member of parliament instruction about what you want your member of parliament to contribute or to consider when they consider these regulations for legislative input. You may not have that time, but what is the even greater risk? The greater risk is not just that the limitation on your time. The other risk is that some of the people who has not even got the foggiest idea about this notice having been issued, they may not at all be able to consult or to give their input, which means they are completely deprived of their constitutional right to participate in the legislative procedure. They have a right. Every single person in South Africa has a right. Think of the people who do not have access to the internet. Think of the people where they suffer blackouts, who would not have seen this notice of the minister. Think of the people who do not have data, commercial data, to access the internet, to read this notice. This notice, as you can see, is put out in English only. What about in a language that you can understand? What about people who do not, as I said, have access to computers or the internet, who live remotely in South Africa? Do they not matter? Or is it the case that the minister considers that these regulations that he contemplates and wants to make into law, given that those people can't participate in this consultation process, are these regulations not going to be binding on them? No, the minister considers that these laws would be binding on everybody. So that means everybody has the right to participate in this consultation process. More importantly, also, consider the people who perhaps have a learning disability, people who may need more time to process this information that the minister is put on, these regulations that he's considering. People may need more time to consider the impact, what the real impact would be should these laws be passed. And as you can already tell, there is a great outcry amongst the public, great concern, grave concerns for these regulations, for the impact that they would have on people's human, people's, and constitutional rights. Some people may want to have some of those regulations revised. Some people may want those regulations completely disposed of, and they may have suggestions to their members of parliament for the introduction of other regulations if the minister is so intent on wanting regulations to be passed. As you can tell, that this is a matter of national importance, and everybody has a right to participate. There's there's almost 60 million people in South Africa. And the question must be asked, what has the minister done to ensure that that this message reaches everybody, the message of his notice, and that everybody can participate? There is also the grave concern for people of other traditions, indigenous groups, such as, for instance, the Khoisan, whose languages are not represented in this notice. How are they getting the message? Or is it the case that these laws would not be affecting of them? These laws would be pervasive and be affecting of everybody. And so, to be clear, everybody has the right to participate. So what would be the advantage of having the minister to either withdraw those regulations and withdraw the notice and reissue a new notice, or to revise parts of his notice to reflect the at least 30, so not 30 days, to reflect at least 3 months, which means it can be more than 3 months consultation. The advantage is that you would have more time to consult. You would have more time to reach your ministers of parliament. You would have more time as the public to maybe even gather people in community halls so as to have open discussion and dialogue about these regulations being contemplated, about the impact, about what this means, what this could mean for the rest of societal life in South Africa. People need that time. You deserve that time. And more than anything, you are provisioned in the law to have that time. So that is what the advantage would be, to have the minister change his mind about that order, withdraw it, or if the minister doesn't do it himself, we believe that it is proper and necessary to take the minister to court so that the court can make that declaration that the issue, the process suggested in this notice and the issuance of this notice must be declared null and void. And the minister should withdraw the whole notice and either reissue, or if he minded, not issue such a notice at all. And with that, my friends, I'll leave you to it. For more information about the letter that we had written to the minister, you can go and visit www.actionforfreedom.com, and it's action and then the number 4 freedom.com. Now we will talk to you more about what action also we seek to take in order to help the public be better informed about the regulations contemplated. But we ourselves, we have a draft proposal of regulations which we believe should replace the regulations the minister contemplates. But more about that, we will talk to you in due course. As for now, go to actionforfreedom.com. We also have a donate button. Go there and feel free to make a donation so that we can have the resources in order to hold the minister account. As you can see, your government is lacking accountability, and we could do with your support. Should we gain the benefit and advantage of a court order that compels the minister to withdraw that notice, we would all benefit from the time. It may be the case that the minister feels that it's not necessary for us to go to court, and he may correct the notice himself. Equally so, we would all benefit from the more time now allocated for proper consultation in the whole public, and the public could literally go on a roadshow to generate awareness amongst everyone, because the ignorance of much of the public will serve a huge disadvantage to everyone. And when we say ignorance, meaning them not being aware. So it is critically important that everybody is made aware of this notice of the minister, and that the notice should be issued properly. And with that, my friends, again, as I said, we welcome and invite you to make donations to our cause, because this cause is to serve to the benefit of every single person. I wish you a great day, great evening, and we will keep you posted in the course of this week, of this coming week, as to whether the minister had responded and or whether the matter will come before court or not. Thank you for your attendance, and thank you for watching this evening. Have a great evening, and remember, stay strong, take action for your freedom. Goodbye.